All right, let's dive into something pretty wild today. We're going to unpack a radical new way of thinking, a system that tries to turn business strategy from a messy art form into a predictable science. The key? Creating a single language that both people and AI can actually understand.
So let me just ask you this right off the bat. What if you could map out, code, and even predict your next business move with the kind of precision a chemist has in a lab? I know, it sounds a little bit like sci-fi, but that's the core idea we're digging into. Making that jump from just having vague goals to having a structured, executable system.
And the solution? Well, it's this thing called the periodic table of hustle. It's a concept that's all about bringing scientific order to the, let's face it, often chaotic world of getting things done. It might sound a little strange, but trust me, it's gonna make sense.
Okay, but why a periodic table? Why that comparison? To really get why this is such a powerful idea, we first have to talk about the huge problem it was designed to fix in the first place, and that is our digital chaos.
I mean, you know how it is. We're all drowning in this stuff. You've got notes in one app, your strategy docs somewhere else, and maybe a messy, scattered list of AI prompts that you've been trying to organize. Nothing talks to each other. And that fragmentation, that chaos, makes it basically impossible to scale your ideas or build a workflow that an AI can actually help you with.
So, the question becomes, how do you fix this mess? The whole goal here is to tame that chaos, to build a kind of machine, a system that brings clarity and control back into the picture. And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. On the left, you've got the before. Total chaos, right? Disorganized prompts, strategy lists all over the place. And on the right, you have the after, the machine. A single unified library, a database where every single strategy is connected. You go from having these unscalable ideas to a system that's structured and, this is the most important part, AI executable.
So how does it actually do this? Well, the system works by taking two completely different but really powerful worlds and smashing them together into one language. Let's take a look at what they are.
So on one side, you have the world of serious enterprise-level AI. Think of a massive, perfectly organized library, but for AI commands. It uses a numbering system, kind of like the Dewey Decimal System you'd find in a real library, to classify every single instruction. You know, the hundreds might be for mindset, the 400s for finance. It's all about that rigid, logical structure.
And then on the other side, you've got this thing called the Hustle Hack Master List. Now this is totally different. It's a creative collection of 138 unique business strategies. We're talking everything from psychological tricks to super aggressive market tactics. This is the creative human side of the whole thing, just packed with valuable ideas.
And this right here, this is the entire mission. You're trying to fuse the creative genius of that hustle hack list with the super strict structure of an AI library. It's all about creating one single, unified language that both human creativity and machine logic can speak fluently.
So how in the world do you actually do that? How do you make that fusion happen? Well, it all comes down to creating a single, elegant master code for every single strategy.
Every single one of those 138 strategies gets its own unique 5-part code. Think of it like a GPS coordinate for a business idea. The series tells you the big picture category, like money or tech. The period tells you how difficult it is on a scale of 1 to 6. The group gets more specific, telling you its function. Then the block and symbol describe its core nature. And finally, the base ID is just its original unique number.
Okay, let's make this super real. Take a look at the strategy called Flip Smarter, Not Harder. Its code is 500.2.14 PCHH002. Just from that code, an AI instantly knows this is a market arbitrage strategy, that's the 500 series, it has a low complexity, that's period 2, and it's focused on scalable distribution, that's the P block. You see? The code isn't just a label, it's a complete instruction manual for the AI.
And this is where things get really cool. Because once every strategy is coded like a chemical element, you can start treating your whole business strategy like it's chemistry.
And let me be really clear here. This is so much more than a fancy filing system. This code actually turns your strategy into a living, predictive engine. It understands the properties of each element, it knows how they're likely to interact, and it can even predict when they're about to fail. For instance, the system gets a concept it calls decay. It can predict that if you use a super high-intensity growth strategy without balancing it with some kind of recovery strategy, it has a half-life. And within 6 to 18 months, that strategy is going to lead to burnout. The system can literally see that failure coming and warn you about it.
And just like in chemistry, you can start creating strategic compounds by bonding different strategies together. So an ionic bond might combine a mindset hack with a growth hack to create stability. A covalent bond could link structure and data to build something really tough. And a metallic bond might combine capital and risk to create financial speed.
So what does that actually look like? Well, by forming an ionic bond, say combining the Stoic Shield, which is all about emotional control, with a tech strategy for mastering a platform's interface, you create something totally new, unbreakable operations. A system that's immune to bad emotional decisions while you're doing technical work.
And that really brings us to the ultimate benefit here. The system becomes an algorithmic guardrail. It can see when you're pushing way too hard on aggressive tactics without balancing them with recovery or mindset work, and it can literally warn you before you burn out. It's like a co-pilot that's not just executing your strategy, but also protecting you.
Which, of course, leaves us with a massive question for the future. If your entire strategy can be coded, predicted, and automated, what does that mean for good old-fashioned human intuition? Does a system like this free us up to be more creative, or does it risk turning us into people who just operate a machine? It's a pretty profound question that could really redefine what work looks like.